Lightweight, comfortable, and a great value, this is the KSwiss Ultrashot Team. This lighter weight and more flexible option in the Ultrashot family is a great value for players who put an emphasis on comfort. The upper material is a combination of synthetic and mesh for a soft feel and breathability, while the DuraWrap material provides drag protection near the toes. Surgelite in the midsole adds a layer of cushioning under the foot, while also providing rebound as you move around the court. The outsole is equipped with KSwiss signature Aosta 7.0 rubber compound in a modified herringbone pattern for enhanced traction and durability. Coming into this playtest, I'm typically a big fan of KSwiss shoes just because they really do a good job making most of their shoes very comfortable, very plush. This shoe followed suit with that. I've been playing a lot in the Ultrashot 3, and first thing I noticed with this team version is just how much lighter it is, more flexible out of the box, and definitely some nice breathability and ventilation from these mesh panels here. So that was a really nice touch. As far as comfort goes, I really like just about every aspect of this shoe, and I'm a big fan of putting comfort into the shoes that I wear. The only real knock I had on the comfort was just right at the tip of the toes. It was a little bit shallow, and also the shoe initially just felt slightly short, so I needed a little bit of break in. I also wore a really thin no-show sock to kind of help with that, so after about a week, that kind of went away. All in all, just a really good, comfortable option, good value. I definitely see the appeal here for those players that don't need all the durability and the stability like the players on tour, like a Marcos Giron or a Cam Norrie. So this is a really good shoe. The only other critique I have is if you're gonna go for a comfort shoe, I think KSwiss should have just went full board here and maybe just added a little bit more foam and kind of that underfoot in the forefoot. But all in all, just a really nice shoe out of the box.
I thought this was a really comfortable, well-priced shoe. Starting with the fit, it's a little bit wider, which is great for my E-width feet. I also thought this shoe had really good cushioning. Now, typically shoes that are so lightweight like this one, under 13 ounces, the cushioning kind of suffers a bit, but definitely not here. This one feels really plush underfoot. Once I got it on court, the performance, I was wishing for a bit more support and stability, especially when moving aggressively. I could really kind of feel my feet slide within the shoe when trying to stop and change direction. And I was also getting a little bit of toe jam as well. But luckily, I wasn't getting too many hard stops. The traction had some nice give to it, so I was able to kind of slide out of my shots with no issues. Overall, I think this is a great shoe for players that are on their feet all day, like a teaching pro, or players that don't necessarily need a ton of support and stability, but still want a lightweight, well-cushioned shoe.
I've been a tennis player for years, and I've been advocating to other players through Tennis Warehouse here of what kind of shoes that they would complement their movement and style of play on court. I am the hugest advocate of not skimping on quality. You do not always have to spend top dollar to get a great shoe, and that's where I'll start with the KSwiss Ultrashot Team. The shoe basically does everything I need it to do without lightening up my wallet excessively. Underfoot midsole cushioning, I would say, was almost on par with the Ultrashot 3, which is one of my very favorite shoes of all time, so I have a good shoe to compare this to. Traction seemed to be on par, exactly the same as the Ultrashot 3. And although, comfort 360 degrees was great, the upper, if there was one knock I could give to it, is rather elastic and stretchy. And as I wore through, kept playing through this play test, it stretched out. And I had to utilize a little more of a tug on the laces to get a glove-like fit. And at first, I kind of scoffed at the lace guider here. And then after kind of realizing playing what it did for me, I don't know if it was its intention, but it provided extra cushion. So I could really cinch down on the laces without kind of infringing on circulation over the top of my foot, which I think was just a great addition to this shoe. Everything about this shoe worked, didn't lighten up my pocketbook too much. So for a shoe that's just gonna be all court versatility, you will be surprised at how much performance and quality is packed into a lighter weight shoe, and it is surprisingly durable as well. I definitely advocate the KSwiss Ultrashot Team.
That wraps up our playtest of the KSwiss Ultrashot Team. For more information on these shoes or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.